TSA Oxford 2020 question 4. This is asking us for the main conclusion of the above argument. Remember, as we said before, main conclusion comes up again and again. It forms usually at least a good 25% of the critical thinking questions, and main conclusions will always be found within the passage itself. It's not something that you have to come up with. It's not something that's new. It's going to be in the passage itself. And you want to see, because the main conclusion will be supported by the remainder of the passage. The main conclusion can be at the beginning, it can be at the end, it can be in the middle, it could be rephrased in a different way than the answer will appear. But at the end of the day, the entire passage was written to support that main conclusion. So when you have two answers and one seems to support the other, then the one that seems to support the other is not the answer, because the thing that it's supporting would be either another argument or the main conclusion itself. A supporting argument cannot be the main conclusion. So here we go. Adults over the age of 60 are often depicted by the media as depressed, lonely, and grumpy. Of course, old age is associated with physical decline, health issues become more common, and memory gets fuzzier. Previously, theories of aging assumed that emotional experiences would follow a similar pathway towards dysfunction. They were wrong. Okay, that's a pretty strong argument. Recent research has shown that in old age, negative emotions like anger wane, while positive emotions like contentment become more common. Okay, so, why our lives undergo pronounced changes in later life. Work demands are eliminated. There is more time for leisure pursuits, and older people structure their environments in ways that reduce unnecessary stress. Time horizons shrink. People learn to spend the remaining precious time on the things that matter most. Okay, without even reading the answers yet, let's just think about this passage, right? Everything that follows the word why can't be the main conclusion, right? Because everything that was written here about our lives undergoing changes, such as work demands eliminated, or there's more time, or we reduce unnecessary stress, or the time horizons shrink, we spend precious time in a better way, blah, blah, blah. That's all supporting the previous argument. That's all of this here is supporting why in old age we have less negative emotions and more positive emotions, right? So that's nothing contained here is going to be the main conclusion, because it was supporting a previous argument. Anyways, let's read down here. Not everyone experiences the negative physical decline in old age often depicted in the media. So this wasn't even argued in the above argument, right? Because this is saying negative physical decline. The passage is talking about how not everybody, actually, if anything, if all seniors don't experience negative emotional decline, right? So it talks about physical decline at the beginning, but it doesn't talk about how not everyone experiences the negative physical decline. So it's not A. A is irrelevant. B. In old age, people experience both positive and negative emotions less strongly. Again, not what the passage says, right? The passage says that it doesn't talk about the strength of our emotions. It talks about how we feel less negative emotions and more positive emotions like contentment become more common, right? So it talks about the waning and waxing of certain emotions. So B wasn't even argued. That's not even relevant. C. Being freed from the demands of work allows retired people to feel happier. Okay, we just talked about this earlier, right? Being freed from the work demands is located here. I just said that was something that supports the question why, right? Why do people have less negative emotions and more positive emotions? That's not going to be a main conclusion. That is a supporting argument for justifying or otherwise proving or leading us to a conclusion that indeed old people have less negative emotions, more positive emotions. So it's not C. D. Older people find better ways of avoiding stress and using their time productively. Okay, interesting. So that kind of is here. Reduce unnecessary stress, and they manage their time better, so they spend their remaining precious time. Same argument as C, right? It's another thing that justifies the research that shows old people have less negative emotions, more positive emotions. So it's not D. It leaves us with E. That's the answer, but let us check this one more time, okay? Assumptions that the emotional aspects of aging mirror the physical aspects were wrong. Well, the entire passage supports that, right? The entire passage starts off with the argument saying that existing assumptions about old age were incorrect, right? You have this strong argument here saying they were wrong. I think that is the main conclusion. And everything after that is supporting that conclusion. Everything after that is talking about research that shows that the naysayers were wrong, that the people who said emotions would, decline in the same way that someone's physical health would, were indeed wrong. So E is the right answer. E is the main conclusion of this passage.